Welcome back to Flowvia Automations, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can make custom form submissions in n8n using no code at all. So let's get into it. Alright, so if you see on the left side here, this is what a generic n8n form would look like. Has the information you would need, but it looks very basic and unprofessional. On the right side here is what we're going to be aiming for with our custom form. You can see it's a lot more modern, a lot more sleek, and it's going to be working directly with our n8n. So let's go hop into our n8n and see how we can build this out. So now that we're in our n8n, you can see that form submission that we just showed for testing. We're going to keep it here just to compare a before and after. But yeah, this is what a generic form submission would look like. And now it's time to build out the custom one. So the first node you're going to need is going to be a webhook node. I know this might not seem intuitive at first, but this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to change the method to post, and you want to change the path to custom form. This doesn't have to be custom form. You can name it whatever you would like, but obviously, since we're building out a custom form, might as well keep it in line with that. So now that we have this set up, we're actually going to go ahead and select the production URL, and we're going to copy that to our clipboard. And once we do that, we're going to save the workflow and activate it as well. And so you might be a little confused as why we're doing all of that, but it's going to make sense in a second here. So now that you have this activated and you've copied the production URL, we're going to hop into any AI model that you would like. You could use Claude, OpenAI, ChatGPT, anything you would like. So once we hop into here, we're actually going to ask it to build out our form submission for us. So these AI models are getting so good now that you can actually get any type of HTML form submission to work directly with your n8n. So if you see here the description I gave it, I told it that I want to create a form submission and I want it to be a custom for an invoicing uploading system. Obviously, if you have it to do something else, this is where you would tell it now. And obviously, if there's any requirements or whatever specific things that you want for it to do, you would tell it here as well. And you can see at the end, I said I'm going to provide you a URL for my n8n webhook for where you are going to send the information and binary file. Key there is binary file. So I'm making sure to tell it that, hey, when you send it to my n8n, I want it to be received as a binary file because I know that's how n8n handles files. So now that I have that, the URL that I copied from my n8n, I pasted it right into here. So I told the AI that, hey, this is the URL for the webhook that I want you to send all the information to. So now that I have that, you can see that it took all the information and it started to build out the HTML form for us. So it got to work. It took about less than a minute, to be honest. But yeah, so once it was done, it provided me the file. So I asked it, can you give me the downloadable file? And here it was. So we quickly go ahead and open that up. We're going to see a custom invoice form. So this looks a little different to the one I showed you in the beginning, and I'll tell you why in a second. But yeah, you can see just by off one prompt, it gave me a custom form that already looks 10 times better than the original n8n form. And now that we have this here, we're going to ask it to enhance it just a little bit for us. So I asked it to add in my company logo. I told it to look even more modern and sleek. Obviously, if you had a certain color schema you wanted to work with, this is where you could tell it to do that and make it customized to you and your workflow. So now that I did that, it quickly did it and gave me that downloadable file for that as well. So now that we have kind of our full form that we want, you can see how nice it looks. And obviously, if there was any adjustments you would want to make, you could do that. But based on this honestly looks and works pretty well. So now that we have this, we want to quickly just go back into our n8n, make sure the workflow is active and that we have everything set here. We're going to hop back in and quickly just send off a test to our workflow. So we're just going to say test 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll select a random date. The invoice amount 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. No notes, and we're just going to quickly throw in any random file that we have here. So now that we have all of this, we're going to quickly select submit invoice, and it's going to say invoice submitted successfully. So what's really cool about these HTML forms is that the AI already knows it has to put error handling inside of it. So say that it wasn't successfully sent off, it'll tell you that right here. And most of the times that I've seen when it doesn't work, it's because your workflow is not active. So that's why I said it's so important to make sure it's active. It's so that it can actually send it off to our workflow. So now that we have that saying it's sent off successfully, we can go back into here and we can select the executions tab. If we go into the executions tab, we can see something was just sent to us to our webhook. And if we click open up here, you can see now that it has sent us that binary file that we requested. And if we go into the schema tab, we can go down and see the company name was sent over as well. The invoice number, invoice date, invoice amount, and all of that was sent over with the binary file. So you can see, very nice and simple. It only takes one webhook node and you can make a custom form submission. And some people will be like, okay, well, now that I have this, how do I actually use it? Well, this HTML file is very easily usable in any application. So say you had a custom app that you were working with, you would simply just upload this or build it within the form structure. And anytime something is uploaded to this form submission, it's going to automatically send it off to your n8n. And what's really nice too is that, say that you don't really have an application and you were just using the URL of the form submission. So I know some people take the URL and they just copy paste it, and their customer or their user will directly access it from the link. If that's the case, then you can just send over this HTML file to whoever the user is, and then they can just upload all the information directly from that link as well, and it'll work and send it off to your n8n workflow. But yeah, once you have that here, you can obviously do whatever you would like. For testing purposes, you can actually go back into the executions tab, open this up, go to the schema, go to the JSON. You can copy the JSON, go back into here, paste it, save, and now you have real production data to work with and test with in your workflow. So now that it's saved here, you can see that we have pretty much a production output in testing to use. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys found that useful, please leave a like down below. Any questions you have as well, please leave them down below and I'll try to answer them as best as possible. Any ideas for future videos you guys want, leave them down there as well. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day.